Far, far away in the vast expanse of space lived a little prince. His home was a tiny asteroid called B612. It wasn't much bigger than a house. On this asteroid grew a single beautiful rose. The little prince loved his rose very much. He watered her and protected her from the wind. But the little prince was lonely. He longed for adventure and someone to share his love with. So one day, he decided to leave his tiny asteroid and explore the universe. He climbed into his tiny spaceship and set off on a journey to find a friend. As he left his asteroid behind, the little prince couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. He knew that he was leaving behind something precious, but he also knew that he needed to see more of the universe. With a heavy heart, he set course for the stars, eager to see what adventures awaited him. The little prince's journey took him to many different asteroids. Each asteroid was unique, and on each one he met someone new. Some of the people he met were strange and some were kind, but each encounter taught him something valuable about life and the world around him. He met a king who claimed to rule all the stars, even though he had no real power. He met a conceited man who only cared about being admired. And he met a businessman who spent all his time counting stars, believing they belonged to him. The first asteroid the little prince visited was ruled by a king. The king was a kind old man, but he was obsessed with having subjects. He was overjoyed to see the little prince and immediately declared him his subject. The king told the little prince that he ruled everything as far as the eye could see. However, he admitted that his power was limited. He could only rule things that obeyed him. The little prince found the king's logic to be quite strange. If the king could only rule things that obeyed him, then what was the point of being king? The little prince realized that true power came from within, not from forcing others to do your bidding. On another asteroid, the little prince encountered a very conceited man. This man was so in love with himself that he could barely see anyone else. He spent all his time preening and admiring his reflection. The conceited man was delighted to have an audience. He showered the little prince with compliments, hoping to receive praise in return. However, the little prince saw through the man's vanity. The little prince realized that true beauty came from within. Being kind and compassionate was far more important than outward appearances. The conceited man's obsession with himself was a lonely and empty way to live. The little prince's travels then took him to an asteroid inhabited by a tippler. This man was constantly drinking, trying to forget his shame. He was ashamed because he drank, and he drank because he was ashamed. The little prince felt sorry for the tippler, but he couldn't understand why the man couldn't just stop drinking. The tippler explained that he was trapped in a vicious cycle. He drank to forget, but the more he drank, the more he had to forget. The little prince learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of addiction. He saw how easily someone could become trapped in a cycle of self-destruction. The tippler's story served as a warning to the little prince to always be mindful of his choices. Section 6. A businessman and his worthless stars. Continuing his journey, the little prince encountered a businessman who was obsessed with counting stars. This businessman believed that he owned all the stars because he had counted them first. He spent all his time adding up his wealth, even though the stars brought him no joy. The little prince couldn't understand why the businessman was so fixated on owning something that he couldn't even touch. The businessman explained that owning things made him feel important. The little prince realized that true wealth wasn't measured in possessions. Real wealth came from experiences, relationships, and the beauty of the world around him. The businessman's obsession with material possessions blinded him to the true treasures in life. Section 7. The Faithful Lamplighter. On a small, rapidly rotating asteroid, the little prince met a lamplighter. This dedicated man was tasked with lighting a single lamppost every minute as his planet spun. The little prince was puzzled by this seemingly pointless task. The lamplighter, however, took great pride in his work. He explained that he brought light to the darkness, even if it was only for a fleeting moment. He believed that even small acts of kindness and duty could make a difference. The little prince was touched by the lamplighter's dedication. He saw that true fulfillment came from finding purpose in one's work, no matter how small or insignificant it might seem. The lamplighter taught him that consistency and dedication had their own quiet beauty. Section 8. The Geographer Who Never Left Home. The little prince's travels then led him to an asteroid inhabited by a geographer. This geographer spent all his time drawing maps, but he had never actually been anywhere himself. He relied on the accounts of explorers, recording their stories of mountains, rivers, and oceans. The little prince was eager to tell the geographer about his own adventures, but the geographer wasn't interested in personal stories. He only cared about facts and figures. The little prince realized that knowledge without experience was incomplete. It was important to explore the world firsthand, to see its beauty and diversity for oneself. The geographer's narrow focus on data prevented him from experiencing the wonders that his maps depicted. Section 9. Return to the stars. After visiting many asteroids and meeting all sorts of people, the little prince continued onward in his search for a friend. His journey taught him many valuable lessons about life, love, and the importance of human connection. He learned that true love requires care and attention, just like his precious rose. He discovered that the most important things in life are often invisible, like the sound of laughter or the warmth of friendship. And he realized that the world is full of wonder and beauty, waiting to be explored by those who are open to it. The Little Prince's cosmic journey is a timeless tale that continues to resonate with readers of all ages. It reminds us of the importance of nurturing our inner child, cherishing our relationships, and finding meaning and purpose in our lives.